Hello class, we're about to start lesson 9, geometry calculator skills. When solving problems with formulas, you can generally save time by performing some or all of the operations on a calculator. Remember the order of operations when solving formulas and always check your work, either by re-entering a key sequence or by estimating an answer and comparing your answer to the estimate. It says a pyramid has a height of 81 feet. The base is in the shape of a square with each side measuring 40 feet. What is the volume in cubic feet of the pyramid? It says use the formula for the volume of a pyramid, which is 1/3 base times height. Begin by calculating the area of the base, which is 40 times 40, which is 40 squared. Multiply that by the height, 81, and in the last step, dividing by 3 is the same as multiplying by 1/3. Now, what they have here, they want you to put this in a TI-30 calculator. So I'm going to go over that with you right now. Okay, class, it seems as though when I was looking for the calculator, it seems as though they changed the website a little bit. So I want to go through this. So you will go to the email I sent you and go to calculator website and click on the link like you did before. Then here you will need to scroll down. You have to scroll down past all of these exercises here, and you will go to Texas Instrument TI calculators and click here. Then you will scroll down. You will scroll down, and then you will click here. All right, then you'll press start, start again, and then up here you'll click the calculator. Okay, now, with that being done and said, now let me pull this to our actual assignment. So I'll just put this here. Now, as we go through this here, we want to put these values in the calculator. So basically, we'll type in the 1/3, so we'll hit N over D, 1 at the top, the down arrow, 3 at the bottom, then the right arrow. So that's our 1/3. Then you could put it in parentheses, because I usually have you all put the values in parentheses. So you'll type in 40, close your parenthesis, and hit the X squared key. Now open your parenthesis, and the last value would be the 81, which is your height, and we know the 40 was your base, and we'll press enter. So it's 43,200, and that's 43,200 cubic feet. Now we go here to example 2. It says a right triangle has legs 10 inches and 20 inches in length. What is the length of the hypotenuse? Now we know the Pythagorean theorem has a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And you know, of course, it's over a right triangle. So we will use this formula here. Now it tells us it has legs 10 inches and 24 inches. So we would let A be 10 and B would be 24. And we're trying to solve for for C. So what we would do, we'll put our parenthesis, and we'll put 10, close our parenthesis, make that squared, plus the 24, put that in a parenthesis, close our parenthesis, and make that squared. Now that would take care of the A and B, which would give us 676. Now, after we get our 676, you know, and I'm going to put this here, just give a little space. So this is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. We know we would add 10 squared plus 24 squared is equal to c squared. Now when we did 10 squared plus 24 squared, that gave us 676 equals c squared. Then we would have to take the square root of both sides. And we know the square root and the square would simplify out. That would leave us C. So we would put the square root of 676 in the calculator. So you would press second, the x squared key, and then 676, and press enter. So that'll be 26 is equal to C. So your answer here would be 26. So it'd be 26 inches, because they did give us the units. So it'd be 26 inches is equal to C. Okay, now, that was example 2. That is our hypotenuse. It says here, if you need to include the quantity pi in the calculation, the TI-30XS multi-view calculator includes a pi key, located 3 keys below the second key. So if you look here, 3 keys below, this is the pi key here. Okay, now, on the left-hand side of the keypad. Now, if they're asking you to use a calculator, you could use that pi key instead of 3.14, or you could just type in the 3.14. It just depends on what they're asking. So let's take a look here. It says, what is the area of a circle with a radius 2.4 centimeters? Round your answers to the nearest 10. So we know area. We know the area is equal to pi radius squared. So area is equal to pi, and then they gave us the radius at 2.4, and we would square that. So now we put this in our calculator. So we would do pi, and then the radius is 2.4, parenthesis, and we would square it, and press enter. So we got 18 point this long number, and we will round this to 1 decimal place, so it'd be 18.1 square centimeters, and that would be the area. Okay, now we come down here. It says use your calculator to evaluate each formula. It says find the perimeter of a rectangle with a length of 16 inches and a width of 5 inches. Now we know perimeter of a rectangle is 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. So that would be our perimeter. Now they told us here that the length is 16. So we add 2 times 16, and the width is 5. So then we add 2 times 5. Okay, so now we got 2L plus 2W, 2 times 16 plus 2 times 5. So we could just put that in our calculator. So we'll do 2 parentheses 16 plus 2 parentheses 5. Press enter. So our answer here would be 42 inches. So the perimeter is 42 inches. That would be our perimeter for problem number 1. Okay, problem number 2, it says find the area of a triangle with a base of 26 centimeters and a height of 15 centimeters. And they give us the formula. Area is equal to half of base times height. Okay, so with that being said and done here, so we will have area is equal to half of base times height. So area is equal to 1/2. We're told here that the base is 26 and the height is 15. So we can put that in our calculator. We'll press N over D, 1 at the top, down arrow, 2 at the bottom, right arrow, open parenthesis, 26, close, then open the parenthesis, 15, close the parenthesis and press enter. So it'll be 195. So our area would be 195, and that would be centimeters squared, because our units was centimeters. So it's 195 centimeters squared. Now, I'm not going to go through every one of the problems because it's basically you substituting. So I'm going to pick about two more to do here. So I'm going to do 3 and 6. Okay, number 3. It says, what is the volume of a cube if the edge measures 3.5 feet? Round to the nearest cubic foot. So volume is equal to edge cubed. So we know the volume is equal to, say, e to the third power. So the volume is equal to, they tell us our edge is 3.5. So it'd be 3.5 to the third power. So we'll clear this, and we would do our parenthesis, 3.5, close the parenthesis, then we would hit the exponent key, which is here, number 3, and press enter. So they tell us to round to the nearest cubic foot, so they want us to round to the nearest whole number. 42.875 rounded to be 43. So this will give us 43, what's that, cubic feet? So it'd be 43 cubic feet. And that will be our final answer. Okay, now we go here to number 6. It says, find the volume of a cone with a radius of 12 centimeters and a height of 20 centimeters. Round to the nearest cubic centimeters. Okay. So now that they gave us the formula, it shouldn't be too bad. So we'll do the volume is equal to 1/3 times pi times the radius. We're given the radius of 12, and then we're given the height of 20. So we're given everything we need, and this is going to be an approximation. So now we'll put this in our calculator. N over D, we'll hit 1, down arrow, 3, right arrow, and then we'll hit the pi key. Then we have parentheses, 12, close the parentheses, open the parentheses, then we add 20, close the parentheses, and press enter. So that gave us 80 pi. Now, if you notice here, they wanted us to round to the nearest centimeter. So we're going to hit this double arrow here, and it tells us that this is 251.327 and so on. So we know we round to the nearest whole number, so it'll be 251. So it'll be 251 cubic centimeters. And that will be our final answer for number 6. Okay, now we go down here to the bottom. It says choose the one best answer to each question. You may use your calculator. Question 7 refers to the following drawing. Now we do have a composite figure here. It says for a woodworking project, Paul cuts the shape shown above from plywood. What is the area in square inches of the piece? Okay, so they want to know so we want to find out what the figure is equal to without the triangle being part of it. We want to figure out what's left. So what we would do here, we're going to take the area of the whole rectangle, which is length times width. Then we'll take the area of the triangle, which is half of base times height. Okay, so the area of the rectangle, the length is, here's the length here, is all of this side here, which would be 32. That'll be the length. And the width would be this 20 inches. So that'll take care of the area of the rectangle. Now the area of the triangle. The base of this triangle that's cut out is 20 inches. And the height of this triangle is 12 inches. Now what we will have is basically the area of the triangle, which is 30 times 20, minus the area of the triangle. So it's the area of the rectangle minus the area of the triangle. And so that would give you the area of this figure. So now we'll put all this in our calculator. So we have, let me see, it'll be, oh, that's supposed to be 32, not 30. It's supposed to be 32 times 20. So 32 times 20 minus, we'll do our n over d, 1 at the top, 2 at the bottom, right arrow, close the parenthesis, then we add 20, then we will add 12, and press enter. So your area here would be 520, and this is in inches, so it'll be square inches. So your area is 520 square inches, and if you notice that, that's C. So your answer here would be C. Okay, now, we move on to problem number 8. It says, to the nearest cubic meter, what is the volume of a cylinder with a radius of 1.5 meters and a height of 5 meters? Okay, so the volume of a cylinder, now they tell us that, okay, so the volume of a cylinder goes like this. Is pi radius squared, and then it'll be times the height. So pi radius squared height, that is the volume of a cylinder. So we have pi, we're given the radius of 1.5, and that's squared, and then the height is 5. So the volume is equal to, so we would do pi, then the radius is 1.5, and that's radius squared, times 5, press enter. So now it's an approximation, and they said to the nearest cubic meter, so then we round it to the nearest whole number, so it'll be 35, and since it's cubic meter, it'll be meters cubed. So that would be your volume. 35 meters cubed, which would be B. All right, questions 9 and 10 refer to the drawing. All measurements are in centimeters. How many cubic centimeters greater is the volume of box A and the volume of box B? So you're basically comparing the two. So now, both of those are rectangular prisms. So what we would have here is the volume of length times width times height times equals the volume of length times width times height. So we have both of those volumes. So now we go through here and we go and solve. So for the larger one, we have the length times width times height. It'll be 32 times 26 times 12. Then the volume of the next would be 28 times 22 times 8. Now we could put both of these in our calculator because they said how many cubic centimeters greater. So we're going to subtract these two. So you'll put in parentheses 32, then 26, then 12, then minus 28 in a parenthesis, 22 in a parenthesis, and then 8 in a parenthesis, and press enter. So when we subtracted these, the larger one is 5,056, what is this, centimeters, cubic centimeters more. So your answer here would actually be D. So the difference in the volume is 5,056 cubic centimeters, and so that'll be D. All right, so that took care of problem number 9. Now, problem 10, it says an advertiser plans to print advertisement on one side panel of each of the boxes. The shaded faces in the drawing. What is the total area in square centimeters that the advertiser will cover? Okay, so with that being said, we want the shaded sides of each of these rectangular prisms. So what we want to do here, this shaded side here, we know the area is the length times the width. This length is 32, and then the width is 12. So we add 32 and then 12. That would take care of this rectangular prism. So we come here to this rectangular prism, which is the area is length times width. And then we have the length, which would be 28, and the width here would be 8. So now what we're going to do, we're going to add these values together to find out how much it would take for them to cover everything as far as the shaded sides are concerned. So we'll put that in our calculator. So we add 32 and 12 plus 28 and then 8. That gives us 608. And that'll be 608 square centimeters. And that will be it for problem number 10. Okay, so now we just finished the final lesson of chapter 7, and then we will have the review to do. I will upload this to YouTube, so have a wonderful day.